Okay, for this video, I'll show you how to make the mane of the Sleepy Unicorn ragdoll. I'm using Soft Secret Ombre in the color Whisper, and it's a medium 4 size yarn and a 3.5mm hook. If you want your mane to be more loose, then you could use a larger hook. I like my little hair spirals to be really tight, so that's why I use a smaller hook for this. So we're going to do a foundation single crochet stitch. So you'll start off with a slip knot and then chain 2. Now the whole point of a foundation stitch, foundation single crochet, or you could do foundation half double, double, the whole point is to do a chain row and the single crochet row at the same time. It saves you time, and it also kind of makes the chain part of it look nicer. I like to do it for the mane because it creates a nice sturdy base for me to use to sew onto the unicorn itself. So after the chain 2, you're just going to insert your hook into the second chain from the hook, pull up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through the first loop, and when we do that, that creates our first chain. Now yarn over and pull through both loops. That creates the single crochet. And it doesn't look like much now, but we'll keep going and I'll show you what I mean. So for this pattern, you do 25 of these. So that was 1. Now for the next one, you'll go through, trying to get it to focus here. You'll go through both loops. The first one's a little bit difficult because it wants to like roll away from you. Go through both loops and now yarn over and pull through 1. That's the chain. Pull through 2. That's the single crochet. So we're kind of creating as you go. This will keep getting longer. On this side, that's like your chain stitches, and up here is the regular single crochet stitches. So again, right here, bend it over, and you see this little V right here. You want to go through both of those loops. Oops, I dropped some some yarn there. It also doesn't help I'm trying to look through my camera. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. So just keep going that. I'll still do a few more with you. You want to do 25 total, both loops. Also, I need to make note that yes, I realize my nails are really, really bad. I'm getting them done tomorrow. There's the chain. There's the single crochet. So you just keep doing that. Turn it over this way. These two, this little V that's formed right there. Go through that, yarn over. There's the chain. And there's the single crochet. So keep doing that until you have 25 of these stitches right here. Because again, this is like the top of it. Like that. Those are the regular single crochet stitches. And if you have trouble with this, or if this isn't looking right to you, for the pattern, you could just chain 26 and then start doing a single crochet in the second chain from the hook and do 25 single crochets down, and you would have a similar looking foundation chain. So if this whole method of doing the chain and the single crochet at the same time isn't working for you, because I remember when I was a beginner, I actually hated this method. So if that's you, don't beat yourself up about it and just do the chain 26 and single crochet 25. But if you want to try something new, give this a try. So I'll meet you back once I have 25 of these single crochet foundation chain stitches. Okay, I have finished the foundation chain. It's looking like this. And again, this is just making the chain and the single crochet at the same time. So if that just blew your mind and you're not really ready for this yet, you could chain 26, turn around, and starting in the second chain from hook, you do 25 single crochets down the chain. That'll work just fine. So now to make the first spiral, we're going to just do regular chains now. We're going to do 25 of those. 1, 2, okay. Now, starting in the second chain from hook, we're going to do 2 half double crochets in that same chain. Then in the next chain, we're going to do 3 half double crochets. I can hear my dog growling downstairs. He must be hungry. So now we're going to do 3 half double crochets in every single chain back to our foundation chain, or our foundation row, I guess you could call it. So again, 3. And doing this will make the spirals nice and bouncy and tight, like little slinkies all over the head. So I'll come back and show you what it looks like after you do 3 half double crochets in every single stitch. And I'll also show you how to twist it to make it a nice spiral, and I'll show you how to do the next one. Okay, I finished the first spiral. Doesn't look like a spiral yet, but if you grab the end and twist it clockwise, it will start to spiral up how it's supposed to be. Keep twisting until all the kinks are worked out. And there it is. First one. Now, this is where you can kind of start to customize it. I like the mains to be really, really full. So sometimes I will go into each individual loop on this top row of our foundation single crochet stitches. So looking at it this way, this would be a traditional back loop, and this would be a traditional front loop. And then going through both loops like normal would be like this. So if you want to do less spirals, I would go through each loop like this, slip stitch, and do your next chain 25 and spiral it back down with the half double crochets. If you want a really thick, super bouncy main, you can go into the individual loops. So I would do slip stitch here on the back loop, chain 25 and do my spiral down, and then when I did that, I'll come back into this loop and do another one. So in essence, you're having 2 spiral hairs coming out of one stitch instead of just one if you went through both loops. And sometimes I kind of switch it up, like I'll do a couple stitches of both loops front and back, and then the next stitch I'll do just one, or you know, 1 most of the time and 2 sometimes. It's really just, you can just play with it either way. Even if you just did 1 spiral in every single stitch, it's still going to be a beautiful main. So it's just up to you and how long you want to spend on it. So continue doing that, slipping into the stitch you want to do your spiral hair on, chain 25, do 2 single crochets in the second chain from the hook, 2 half double crochets in the second chain from the hook, 3 half double crochets in every single stitch after that until you get back to your foundation chain, and keep it going. And I'll come back to the video when I have that done. For me, it takes a few days because I just do it kind of in my free time when I'm binge watching a show and I don't really need to use mind power. So yeah, I'll be back at the end of this video to show you what it looks like at the end. Okay, this is what my main is looking like after I finished all of it. I started sewing it to the head, and then I decided I would pause about halfway and show you. I already put the tail on, and I started the head at the base of the neck, the nape of the neck right here, and just in the center of the head, I kind of tack down the end of it on the nape of the neck, and then I bend it back like this so I can keep it in line with the horn. That's just the tail ends from my eyeballs right there. It'll be covered up by the mane here in a second. So what I do is I keep it in line. You kind of have to pull these. I made this really, really thick because that's what my custom order wanted. So I find my foundation chain right here, and I just kind of keep that in line with the center of the horn as I go up. So this last strand I did, I went through the foundation chain. So now next I'll go through a stitch here that's in the center of the back of the head. Pull it tight, find my chain again, my foundation chain, grab it with my needle, and I just keep doing that pattern to pull it up against the head. And you want it to end right at the back of the horn to make it cover the full length of the head. So I went through the chain, now I'll go through a stitch on the head. Make sure you're pulling it tight. That's why I just like the foundation chain. It just kind of gives you an easy visual to grab onto for the base of the mane. Pull it tight. And as I go, I keep kind of checking to make sure that I have enough mane left. That's the end right here of my foundation chain. I just keep holding it up to the horn to make sure I have enough to make it up there. And once you get all the way up to the horn, you just tie it off as usual. Hide the remaining tail in the head and cut off any excess. And then your unicorn sleepy ragdoll will be finished. I just love these spirals. I know they take forever to make, but I just love them. So once I finish sewing back and forth, it'll be on there like that, and she'll be done.